Hi friends, welcome to my channel. What are we doing today? Today we are looking at sketchbooks that I have completed. We're doing a quarter check-in to see what's been going on, how many sketchbooks I have completed, fully completed, and just to look through them. And they're basically in 3 categories. The category here are sketchbooks that are complete, or I consider complete. These will be going into storage. I'm not using these anymore. I also store my swatch cards, especially when I swatch my re-swatch my mediums. I store a swatch card for those. And you have sketchbooks that are fully drawn up but not fully colored up, and it's this entire pile right here. Some of them you may have noticed because I was working on some of these sketchbooks throughout 2023, and now in 2024 I am so happy to say that they're on the completed list, drawn up but not fully rendered up. We don't want this video to be 30 minutes long, so we're just going to move through this kind of fast. I re-swatched my acrylic inks. So what I did is I'm putting up now the previous swatch card. I also re-swatched all my bargain friendly pencils. So I have put up the storing these ones. And I've also re-swatched my water based or watercolor markers. So now all I'm doing now is putting these up. I usually make swatch booklets, and now that's done, let's go into the fully completed sketchbook pile. First up is this concertina or accordion style sketchbook. Now this sketchbook, as you can see, is fully drawn up, but I haven't colored up in there. And honestly, to be honest, I probably would never color this because I've had it now for about 2 years, 3 years. Let me see. I didn't write a date, didn't I? No, I did not. But this has been in my to color up for almost 2 or 3 years, and I haven't done it. So I'm considering it as fully completed, and I'm not touching it again. This book here, you would have seen it in the intro to many of my drawing art videos, and this book is, I'm glad to say, fully completed. As you can see, this book was started in 2021, April of 2021, and you think it was small enough that I could have finished it within a month? Nah, I had to go through with it. I think the reason being because it was the book that was featured in my intro. I didn't want to fully complete it, but honestly guys, you know, yes, it holds sentimental value. These pages are, I think this is cardstock, and I gessoed the cardstock, and so I use mostly acrylic markers with this book. It's not fully rendered. There's a piece in here that hasn't been rendered. I'm not touching this. You can see it was a good little doodle book to do in. Oh, here's another piece. You can see it went through 2022. Yeah. October 2023. December 2023. And I just made scratches on the back for the last page. It's finished. Yay! Other sketchbooks here. This you would have seen in my 2023 art advent calendar. This was the book that I made, and you already seen this when I did my walkthrough for December. So I'm moving through these kind of fast because many of these you would have already seen if you follow the channel. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen many of these. So it's no surprise to many of you. I believe this was my last one. And then I did some warm-up doodles for September, and that just completed the book. And you would have already seen many of these, I believe, when I introduced that challenge. I think I did this for September warm-up doodles. and we're done. Forgot this one. Here's another swatch card. I think this was the basic twistable crayons. I probably re-swatched the page out of that, out of my twistable crayons box. So I probably re-swatched that, and that's it. The other one we're looking at is this one here. This was an art prompt book. I think I introduced this book when I was talking about sketchbooks that I need to complete. Well, guys, it's complete. I did it, the art prompt book. And yeah. This paper, I think, is pecan mixed media paper, or at least they're lightweight. Watercolor paper, but it feels like the pecan mixed media paper. Yeah, pecan mixed media paper. I believe for most of these I use watercolor pencils. And as you can see, if you notice my art style from here to what it was in here, when it was in January 2022 and now November of 2023, you can see the change in my art style. How my art style is now cleaner, it's more sharp, the images are now sharp. You can see the transformation in this art style. And here's the last one. No, this is the last one. Unrest. And we're done. Moving through these books kind of fast because there's a lot of books to get through. A lot of books to get through. Here's another art prompt book. This was the book that was kept in my bag. This one here was kept in my bag when I was talking about practicing watercolor markers. When I was talking about books I need to complete, this was the one that was kept in my bag. Here we go. What I did with this book is I test out all the watercolor markers that I had, and I used 3 colors: a yellow, a magenta color or a red color, and a cyan or blue color, to see how this paper handles those markers. And of course, guys, I won't only have one. You see me testing out the colors for this because I didn't have a true yellow. I just basically test out all the colors that I had with this, with the artwork. The Sargent Art brush tips, the Ohuhu watercolor markers, Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pen. See how this paper handled this. The Albert Durr watercolor markers. And no, they didn't shoot my monkey. It was because of the other one here, and the Karen Brush Pro markers. And I stuck with the Albert Durr watercolor markers for this because I like how it took to this paper. This is hot press paper from Fluid 100. This is their cellulose line, not the cotton line. And I just like how the Albert Durr took to this paper, so that's what I stuck to. And this was the paper that I did for, except for the first one, which was Apple. Then I started to do animals based on most letters in the alphabet, starting from B. And you would have seen a couple of these illustrations in previous videos. Yeah, because I did these two on camera when I did watercolor markers. And then I had some space left over and I decided to do a quick prompt, just quick little doodles. I think I love doing quick little doodles, and I don't remember what I used for this. I think for this I used the Monte watercolor travel set that I was graciously gifted by my dear friend. Wow. I like how the watercolor lay down on this paper, especially when you do flat washes. And the last one was hot air balloon, and I don't know what I was thinking that day, but yeah. But it's finished. Oh my god, here's another swatch card. This is for the Mungyo handmade soft pastels. I guess I re-swatched them, and so I'm putting up the swatch card. Okay, so this crudely made sketchbook is for my 2023 World of Watercolor Challenge. And in this, I had the Magello Mission Gold that was also graciously gifted to me by Miranda Watson at Art Alla Creek. Yeah. No, Alkaline Creek art. Yeah, Alkaline Creek. And I swatched them out. These were the prompts I was working with for the World of Watercolor Month 2023. And believe it or not, I did not highlight this in my December wrap up. Oh gosh. And I did the challenge. Here's the proof. I did the challenge June of 2023. This was for July, and as usual, I usually do my monthly art prompts a month in advance. So these were started from June. The first one was Belle. And then we go here. But I'm believing I did a video highlighting this, so I don't have to go through this slow with you guys, because you probably would have already seen the video for this already. You can see, yeah. I only did like maybe 12 prompts, with the first one being Belle. Now that I look at it, I really like this one. I think this one was Sunlight, because it forced me to think of shadows and light. And yeah, more books. Okay, so I have here from the scroller box. I believe this was a scroller box, July scroller box. No, this wasn't. This was July scroller box. And what I did is I put all the testing too from the scroller box that I did. These were for the acrylic markers that I got, the first acrylic markers. This was from box 95, July scroller box, where I did the testing. This was from, I believe, October scroller box. So yeah, I'm putting these up. Here's another scroller box. This one was graciously gifted to me. Oh, another swatch card. Gosh, I'm putting up a lot of swatch cards today. This one is from the Stabilo Carbothello pastel pencils. Another swatch card, believe it or not. Yeah, guys, let me bring you guys out a bit. Yeah, another swatch card. This one was graciously gifted to me as well. Let me move this out of the way. Another swatch card. I think this was just some stuff I was doing concerning palettes and stuff. This is where I was doing some testing, some thumbnailing, but you guys would have already seen that. Yeah, I think this was the brochure for the Mungyo. Do I need it? No, let's put it up. This was one of my first ever pads. This is an acrylic pad. When I started art, it was hard for me to find watercolor paper when I first started my art journey in 2018. So one of the things I used was acrylic paints, and this is an acrylic pad, one of my first, literally. And as you can see, they're all stuck together. Oh gosh. Yes, this was actually one of my first drawings that I did, literally, when I first started my journeys. These were some of my first drawings here. I think I'm a little more advanced than that now. Here you go. 2018, guys, believe it or not, this was when I first started my journey, and this was how I drew at that time. I think I'm a little further than that now. And of course, I had to do some swatches. And I think that's about it. This book is finished. I think for the rest of the pages in this book, I used it for a swatch book that I made. And the last one in this pile is this. Okay, this book here, I did say I wasn't going to use any books, but I made this little book. Cute little thing, isn't it? I was trying a new kind of binding style. This kind of binding style, are you noticing it? Let me bring you guys back in a bit. You notice the binding style? Yeah, I was trying this new kind of binding style. So, and this is just made from cardstock and paper. It's the binding style there. This is just made from cardstock and actually paper bag. I got a paper bag. I went somewhere and they gave me a paper bag, and I didn't want to throw it away. So I opened the paper bag up, made it into one big sheet, and I cut it up and I made 2 sketchbooks from it, and this is one of them. And just to be nice, I did some illustrations in it with this little mouse character. You can see where I tore the paper bag kind of badly. I think it was just like 8 prompts. Yeah. And this book is finished. I think that I'm gonna end this here for now because I think this video is kind of long, and then in part 2 when we come back, well, I'm only doing once a week, so let me get the other section. I was thinking of doing a part 2 to this, but I'm not doing 2 videos a week anymore. I'm doing 1 video a week, so I think you guys could bear with me. Here's a book. You would have seen this book many times when I did illustrations, drawings. This book is made from, let me bring you guys out a bit. Yeah, right about there. This book is made from Fabriano's Studio Hot Press, 140 pounds, 300 GSM. It's a 25% cotton paper, and I love working with colored pencils in this book, but it is a watercolor paper, so I am not strayed from that. And many of these illustrations you would have seen in videos. I mean, I started this book, did I put a start date? Usually it's my first drawing, July 6th of 2022. And many of these illustrations would have already been featured in previous videos, so I can move through this book kind of fast. And this book, again, I don't think it's fully rendered in. I really love this. This is Crayola watercolors. This is the one, and I really want to paint this picture, and that's why I still have this book out. This is when I was doing it with Crayola watercolor pencils and Crayola color pencils. My Crayola watercolors are now completed, at least the modern version of it. This is where I test out the Prismacolor Juniors. This is where I did the pointer watercolor pencils to do 5 dragons for Smugus. I really like that. This is testing out the Milan water solubles, Milan and Sargent Art color pencils. Many of these you would have already seen already. You probably won't have seen this. I found these Faber-Castell water-based Waterlock pencils, and I wanted to see how it compares to the ones that I tested in my show-off here with the triangular, the gold fiber, and the polychromo, sorry. So I just wanted to see how it looked, and I just did it. And also I was graciously gifted the Faber-Castell Classics, and I wanted to see how it looks compared to these pointers, colored pencils. I think I've already talked about these already. Yeah, you would have seen these, guys. I'm not showing anything you wouldn't have seen. I really want to color this too, so that's why the book is here. And this is where I tested out the Derwent Artist pencils. Yeah, see how it looks. And I went on a swatching buffet because the Derwent Artist pencils were unfamiliar to me, and I wanted to see how it compared to other pencils that I was more familiar with, the Crayola, the Milan Big Lead, the Marco Raffine. And then I said, wait a minute, I have other bargain-friendly pencils, so let me see how it compares to other bargain-friendly pencils that I had. The Faber-Castell Triangular Echo, yeah, the Faber-Castell Waterlock, the Faber-Castell Classics, the Helix, the Papermate Dual, the Sargent Art color pencils, the Angry Bird color pencils, and the Joseph Hartmut color pencils. Many of these were bought right here in the country of Belize, and believe it or not, the hardness of the Derwent Artist color pencils was comparable to the Faber-Castell Triangular, is it Echo or Eco? Triangular Eco, the Worcester Lock, to the Helix, to the Joseph Hartmuth, and to the Papermate Duo. And that's where this came in, where I did this illustration here. Yeah. And that's also, this was me testing out just playing around with the, what do you call it? The Etcher watercolor. And this is me again, playing around with some more medium firm colored pencils, like the Pointers Premium colored pencils, the Pointers Intense colored pencils, which was also gifted to me, the Marco Renoir and the Prismacolor Juniors, to see how those compare. And that's the end of this book. Okay, so this book was made in 2021, and yeah, and many of these have not been rendered in. I think I just started to render in a few of them. This was made, this was made from Fluid 100, 100% cotton, 140 pounds, 300 GSM paper. And yeah, this was one that I colored with the Etcher watercolor because I wanted to see how Etcher watercolor performed on 100% cotton. As you can see, there's many pages still left in this book unrendered. So yeah, now you see why this book is left out. It's completed, it's fully rendered in, but it's fully rendered now. It's fully drawn up. All these are things that I draw, but I haven't colored it as yet. And that's it. Let's go again. Another book. Here's another book from 2021. This was made from cardstock, pecan cardstock. And I used to use, I'm using markers in this. And again, a lot of the pictures are already fully drawn up. But as for fully color up, we still have a few pictures in there. And that's the reason why this book is left out, because you have one or two pictures that are left in there that I need to get to, that I really want to get to. What happens when I'm testing out a new art material? I did a redraw for this one. What happens when I'm testing out a new art material sometimes, and I want to test on certain papers, I will grab these books that I have maybe one or two pictures left to render, and I will color it with those art materials. And here is it. This last picture was gessoed, so I wanted to see how gesso worked on it, and I still have yet to color it. Next book. I'm moving through these books kind of fast because, like I said, you would have seen these in previous videos. Yeah, let me bring you guys back in a bit, because the book is kind of small. This book is made from Fluid 100, 100% cotton paper, and I think there's like a few pages still left in here that I really want to color, like this one. I drew them, but I didn't color in them. Here's another one. You'll remember these from my Month of the Gouache series. Yeah, this was the book that I used. I think this book was started in 2022. No, 2021. October of 2021. Testing out brush strokes. I really want to color this because this was the first time I drew a spread, so I really want to get to this one. Testing out more brush strokes. You would have seen this video, you would have seen this video. Sometimes when I want to draw something and I don't know what to draw, I go to this app called What to Draw. I've talked about it many times, and here's a picture in there. You would have already seen that video, and here's another uncolored drawing. Yeah. Next book. Here's another book. You would have, this book is mainly made from cardstock, Nina cardstock, 110 pounds, and expressive blending paper, 120 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. And let me bring you out a bit so you can appreciate it just a tad better. Yeah. I think this was where I was this is markers, but this was where when I have scroller box, sometimes what I'll do is I'll using materials I already have before I get my scroller box. I would test the on paper similar to the paper that scroller would provide me with, and this was it. But you would have already seen this. This book was opened April of 2022. This was the first drawing in it. This paper that I'm using right now on right now is the Nina cardstock, and I mainly use this book for markers, but this is where I was testing the inks with markers and stuff, how markers react to different liner pens that I have. If you follow me on Instagram or watch all my videos, you would have seen many of these already. So I did Mermaid 2023, and I did it in markers, and this was my mermaid. I did 5 prompts and I still limited it down to 4. Here's my last prompt, blue. And now we're going into the Express It blended cards. There's a few pictures, as you can see, that I want to work with. This is where I was supposed to do some tests with some skin tones. Never got to it. Probably never will. This one I was supposed to do some tests with alcohol-based markers, all the alcohol-based markers I have, and I never got to it. Here's one. This is rendered only with the Oahu pastel, Oahu watercolor now, Oahu pastel alcohol-based markers. I don't think I'll ever do it. This is another tester that I did for the practice scroller box 96. This was for Huevember, but you guys would have already Huevember, but you guys would have already seen this already. Here are some drawings I did just trying to finish up this sketchbook, and it's finished. And I'm looking at this and I don't know, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Here's another sketchbook. This one was first done in 2020. Gosh, this is the Arteza sketchbook. This is the second one I completed. I think I told you guys that we have one more out of the set of 3 to complete. I don't like this paper at all, but we need to finish it. I think this is watercolor markers, if I'm not mistaken, but we need to finish it. We do need to finish it. What I did is I gessoed the other side. So this side is ungessoed, and the back side of it, I gessoed it. I think I really want to do this. There's a few drawings in here that I really want to color, and I'm getting to them, guys. I do get to them when I'm testing. Now what I do, instead of drawing something to test out the medium before I bring it to you, I just grab one of these sketchbooks that I have drawings in already, and I just use that to test out that medium, because I really do need to finish these sketchbooks completely, or it'll be like my little pink friend here that I'm saying, you know what, I'll probably never do it. And this is the reason why this sketchbook isn't completed, the Christmas stuff. Yeah, barely any of the Christmas drawings are rendered in. And every time Christmas comes around, and this is from 2021, guys, it's like, I don't want to do it. I don't know why. But finally, I'm like, you know what? You need to do it. I think this is from the Etcher Lab watercolor. Yeah. Don't know why. I have to. I need to finish these sketchbooks off. I really like this. I think I draw better when I'm telling a story. And as usual, miscellaneous stuff. We're almost done, guys. We are almost there. Bring it out a little bit more. This was supposed to be my 2022 Huevember drawing. And I think I talked about this already. So all these here are supposed to be colored in with crayons. The book is finished. It's just for me to get to it. And I think I talked about this book before, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. I have 2 pages left, but yeah, the book is finished just for me to get to it. Last book on my completed list that I'm thinking there's some pages in here I want to color. That's why it hasn't been put up yet. But the minute they're finished colored in, I will put them up. Just a few pages. Yeah. I notice I do use my sketchbooks like these. I think I want to use colored pencils for these. Here's another perfect little thing to do testing with. You guys would have already seen many of this already, so I can move through this book kind of fast. And we're done. So guys, these are now my check-in. These are my fully completed, even though this isn't fully completed, but fully completed sketchbooks, and my sketchbooks that I'm just holding around. I do work in them, I test work in them. You may see me pull these books out throughout videos and stuff, especially books like these that has pictures in them that I need to render in. And maybe, you know, I already have the picture drawn, so it's just for me to color them up. You'll see this pile from time to time in videos. But as for this pile, I'm putting this pile in storage. I have a box that I keep all my completed, 100% completed sketchbooks in. And I usually leave these in the studios in case I need, like I said, to test out any materials. Guys, let me know what you think. This is, I didn't even count how much sketchbooks are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 sketchbooks. 2 sketch pads and a bunch of swatch pads and swatch cards and booklets. It was a lot. It was a very, very fruitful, like you said, like you see in 2023. I have done a lot. You may, like I said, you may see these again. I may feature them again if I completely rendered them up. But as for that, I'm just going to move through them fastly. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey. It has been quite a journey. I am pulling them up. I'm actually now preparing to complete another sketchbook. So you will see a new sketchbook on this pile, because it will definitely be on this side because it's fully rendered in. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.